Hi everyone, I'm just going to share a couple of things here, which is basically questioning the pharmaceutical industry and really what is governing healthcare in our world right now. Now the first item I'm going to focus on is MMS, which is a water purification system. I'll leave you some video links under this so you can research it for yourself, find out exactly what it does. It's basically sodium chloride, which is mixed, it's with an activator, a citric acid activator. Now, it's being compared with bleach, but before we get into that, I just want to explain, listen to this man and the people that he interviews who've been using MMS successfully to treat and cure illnesses, but my focus here, this person here has said that yes, they used it to cure his wife from Lyme disease within 2 months, and the whole thing has been promoted by this man, Jim Humble, who created the Church of Genesis 2 in order to promote MMS, because he wasn't allowed to sell it as an alternative health product, so he offered it as part of to his members of his church, you see, which was a way round the laws that prevent people from sharing viable health solutions. Now, the point that I really want to make here, and it's a very important point, is that one thing that we do know for sure, and we know it from the Red Cross studies, I'll leave you the link to that video again, which I've shared in the previous videos about this, that proves that MMS 100% cures malaria, okay? 100% in babies, adults, 100% all cured in the Red Cross studies. So now the pharmaceutical industry, because malaria is it earns them big profits worldwide every year, and every year over 1 million children die of the malaria illnesses, okay, of that disease. There's also millions of adults are stricken down with it, repeatedly ill and unable to work at times, and forced into even more severe poverty. Now, the people of the Western world, who are apparently educated and civilised, okay, the professional people, the so-called middle classes among that population of the Western world, you now are the ones that have a responsibility to speak out and to give something back to the 4.5 billion people living on $2 or less a day, in order to put food in your supermarkets, in order to put coffee on your shelves, in order to put coltan in your laptops, okay, and your mobile phones, in order to provide everything that you people use and need. This 4.5 billion people are slaves to the very same corporations that apparently serve us people in the West so well, okay, while they're busy also polluting and destroying our planet. Never mind about that, just keep the products coming. I'll have my iPod, thank you very much. And it is time now that we give something back. And one of the things that we can give back is our intelligence and our compassion and our balanced understanding. And we have a duty now to question the corporate media and to question their motives behind imprisoning people that are promoting this product. Now, I'll never promote something that I'm not prepared to try myself, and I've just started using MMS, and I've been using a couple of drops a day. I've done it for 2 days and I have noticed a difference already. I'm autoimmune and regularly suffer from asthma, and I've noticed already a change after just 2 days of using it. Okay, so for myself, I would say so far I've not had any ill effects of it, and it has actually improved my health already. Okay, as for the malaria, 100% I'm absolutely sure that it kills. I trust in Jim Humble, I trust in this man, I trust in this man here who, you know, he talks about how he gave it to his children and cured them of MRSAs while they were abroad. So, you know, I believe this person when he says his wife was cured from Lyme disease with it. And there's even people who are using it to help autistic children, and there's been some quite, well, actually amazing results from using it for autism for some people. Other people it's taken longer, but they've noticed improvements. Now, whether these things are true or not, you know, we need a proper study about it, but the pharmaceutical industry isn't interested because there's no money to be made in MMS. It's cheap, it's easily made, it's easily available, they can't control it, and it takes money out of their pockets. So instead what they're doing is they're colluding now, and they are employing their corporate media to tell people that MMS is industrial bleach. Okay, that is what they're telling people that it is, and this is a lie. MMS is not an industrial bleach. And they will say things like, you know, it causes vomiting. I mean, you know, you're supposed to take a couple of drops, okay? If you've got the malaria, I think it's a lot more drops. But still, the people have taken this all over the world. So far, I think there's one person in America that apparently died from taking MMS. Whether or not she was taking the right dosage, from what we can gather, this person took absolutely loads of it, which, you know, are you going to ban paracetamol because some people take too much of it? You know, so there's been one person apparently have lost their lives, though it's very dubious that this person did actually lose their lives to MMS. But we know that a big fuss has been made out about that, and it's been used to justify even imprisoning people in America who have been selling it or promoting it as a health product. So, you know, you've got your choice. You've got your mainstream media, and include the BBC in this as well, because they've done articles about this as well. Now, and remember that what all these people are doing, what they're doing is they're conspiring to deny the children of Africa especially, okay? They are colluding to deny the people of the world the benefits of this simple and cheap cure. Now, if the people of the West who are intelligent enough to get informed and see beyond the propaganda, recognise this for what it is, the corporate media serving corporate interests, okay, understand what it is, what is going on, understand that our ignorance is all that is needed to kill 1 million babies of malaria this year. Because, believe you me, that is what this world is doing when it knows full well there's a simple and easy cure, and it is refusing to give it to the children because that will impact on their profits and also on their Agenda 21 of depopulation. Because apparently there's too many people. You know, apparently that's why God asked us all to go forth and multiply, so that these set of wasters who are wasting life, okay, who are wasting the life of our planet, yeah, that is why we were asked to multiply. so we can, you know, get this, allow this insane psychopathic elite, so-called, to just kill us all off in a huge cult. Never mind that these people, that this consciousness itself has created the very situation that there's population explosions, because, you know, to create a population explosion, all you need to do is to make people very poor, turn men into slaves, and deny women and children their rights. Okay? In every nation where there's been a modicum of rights, the men, women and children, where women don't have to immediately get married, or they're going to be raped commonly by the age of 12, populations stabilise, birth rates drop, you know. Suddenly, oh, we're all worried about an ageing population. Well, if you're going to have an ageing population, you better make sure it's a healthy population, because a 70-year-old person can be perfectly fit and healthy if they eat the right food and are not stressed out and traumatised by living in a criminal, evil, insane world that they're driven to drink and drugs. If they're not having to get through PTSD because they're suffering abuse as children. You know, there's a whole range of issues that we do need to tackle. And it does revolve around standing up for children's rights. And not just our children's rights, our own personal children's rights. Because all the children of this planet are our children. As a human being, they're our children. And all those millions of children that are condemned to die this year because this world is conspired to deny them this product, cheap remedy, that, you know, we need to stand up for their rights to live. Because what? Because every one of those children are precious. What is in them to offer to this world? We don't know, because nobody's investing anything in them. We're using them to be slaves, to grow and pick flowers, to grow and pick coffee, to go and pick mock coltan out of riverbeds. We're taking these people's gold, we're taking their silver, we're taking their tin. All flooding into our country, on our supermarket shelves, into our shops, being posted through the door in our homes. Now we have a responsibility to give something back to these people, because I tell you now, there's not too many people. We have a wealth of humanity on this planet, which is a wealth of life. And this planet, the life of this planet has paid for that wealth of life that exists today of humanity. This planet has paid a heavy price for them. And what now? This evil agenda people want to just kill. After everything this planet has paid to produce these people and bring them into the world, and now the idea is just, oh, let them be born and let them die. That is insanity, and only an insane species could support that, and that species is doomed to what? Extinction. Life balances itself out. You know, and as I say, you give women and children their rights, that's your birth control already sorted out, you know, and we actually do have access to birth control these days. So, this, you know, the one thing that the people of the West can do is to stand up now for the children of this planet to receive the MMS cure for the malaria disease. We have an ethical and moral and lawful duty to demand that, and to, you know, write to the Guardian. I'm going to be writing to the Guardian, I'm going to be asking why they have promoted this ridiculous idea that Jim Humble is promoting industrial bleach. Okay? And they've not mentioned anything here about that it's a cure for... Oh, they are saying it's a cure for malaria, AIDS, and, you know, like I say, I don't know for sure about these other things. I've heard stories. Stories are shared in these videos about that it cures cancer and things. Whether it does or not, I don't know. I haven't witnessed it, but I believe what these people are saying. But nonetheless, I have witnessed the Red Cross studies. They are genuine, and it does cure malaria 100%. So that's enough for me that it will cure malaria. And give that to the people. Give that to the people. And if the professional people, the so-called educated, intelligent people of the Western world, who think they're a cut above everybody else, who are quite happy to go and, you know, grab the coffee and whatever off the supermarket shelves. If you cannot stand up for the 4.5 billion that have been enslaved to provide for you, if you can't stand up for their rights to receive this, then you are not worth the paper that your name's written on. Because you're not really a human being. You're an automaton, and you're serving the interests of this criminal so-called elite who have their psychopathic Agenda 21, and you're agreeing with them. You're agreeing with them. You're saying, yeah, actually, there's too many of them anyway, so, you know, the malaria, it is just a natural form of population control, isn't it? No, it isn't. No, it isn't. A natural form of population control is giving women and children rights and allowing little girls to grow up before they're expected to have a baby. And nobody talks about the fact that, you know, out of the millions of children born on this planet every year, how many millions don't even make it to the age of 5, and that life expectancy for the majority of that so-called surplus population is about 40, if they're lucky. You know, there are not too many people on earth. There are just enough people on earth now, as I say, to clean up the corporate filth, the wasters that waste life. And they will waste and waste and waste and waste, because that is all they know. And everything they do, they have to waste. They create waste. They are the wasters. And it is time for productive, genuine human beings with a heart and conscience and intelligence, understanding, to see the light now, to get clear and to speak out on behalf of sanity. And this idea that, you know, you can put profits before people. It's absolutely disgusting. It is satanic in the sense of it is criminal, because that, you know, what is Satanism except crime, isn't it? That is what the devil is, a criminal. And it is a criminal world that will conspire to deny children a safe and effective, cheap, life-saving remedy to an illness, you know, like the malaria that is killing and maiming so many people. So we have a duty, we have an ethical and moral and lawful duty to speak out and to demand that these children get their cure now. Okay, that is one thing that we can do for them. We can't all go and pay them or do anything, because we're as much corporate slaves really as the rest of them, aren't we? It's just that we're expected to take part in the commercials that they then sell to these poor people in these countries to convince them that, oh yes, life could be like this for you one day if you just work hard enough. But we know it's, you know, wealth in this world isn't about working hard. The true wealth is what we do for one another and what we give to life. That's our wealth. Life is our wealth. life itself. And this idea that, you know, you can just kill off millions of people and that somehow that is going to have a positive impact is really completely ridiculous. It is insane. The universe thrives on abundance, and we have an abundance of humanity. We have an abundance of problems and filth on our planet. It needs cleaning up. People need jobs. Give people jobs. Give them hope. Give them the rights. Give them the cures. And, you know, it is no wonder, and this now brings me on to the next part of this video, which is about pregnenolone and depression. Because naturally, people in this society are depressed for all kinds of reasons. And those reasons that create depression themselves, you know, depression itself is through stress and trauma on the human psychology and consciousness, and even physical stress and trauma. And the foods and the stuff that the foods that we eat that are infected with chemicals, and the stuff that they inject us into from childhood, that all these things, the crimes of this world, the injustices, the hypocrisy, the imbalance that somehow a sane human being has to grow up in. You know, it is very, very difficult. People suffer from depression. And this natural hormone that can be produced, you know, from natural products, treats the depression. I know, I've used it. I use it regularly. I've got PTSD. This is what has helped me. It has helped me. It does help me. I take it every day. I think I take about 50 milligrams or something. So, this is all about pregnenolone, what it does. It's a natural hormone. It can't be patented in a lab. It's been studied from the 1940s, and it is known to have also increase cognitive function. It's very good for memory, alertness. You know, it's an excellent hormone. It's an excellent supplement for people, especially as you age, because the body produces less and less pregnenolone, and studies from the 1940s realised that it did actually increase the cognitive functioning of the people that they studied. Now, because it can't be patented in a lab, it does help with depression, you know, really fantastically. It has worked for me. So they can't patent it in a lab, so what do they do instead? Okay, what do they do instead? So what they do is they find something like fluoxetine, okay, that actually then goes into its metabolite neurofluoxetine to increase allopregnanolone production. Okay, so they found another mechanism to increase production of pregnenolone in the brain. Now, just so that you're absolutely sure what allopregnanolone is, okay, allopregnanolone is derived from pregnenolone itself, okay? So I just wanted to share this so that people understand, that they understand that pregnenolone is the precursor to creating allopregnanolone. And there you go. See, allopregnanolone serum levels have been reported to triple 2 hours after oral administration of 400 milligrams of pregnenolone. Okay, so we know that pregnenolone does actually increase allopregnanolone. Tripled. So the main function, and this is what I wanted to explain here, the main function of Prozac is that it increases allopregnanolone in the brain. It's a hormone. But it also does other things. You know, it blocks, it inhibits certain things. You know, it isn't good. There's a whole list of things that Prozac is known for that you know, it causes side effects, and it really isn't. You know, some of the things, they really aren't very good, and you can't take it if you have certain other problems like bipolar, kidney disease. You know, you really shouldn't be taking Prozac. And you know, these are some of the side effects. Really not very nice, are they? And then you've got other drugs that will affect it, other antidepressants, all of these things. You know, so it's easy to see what the pharmaceutical industry have done. That they have realised that pregnenolone is a precursor to sorting hormone balance out, and we know that depression, stress and trauma affect hormones, and therefore your pregnenolone, which is your mother hormone, which is called the mother of all the hormones, okay, that every other hormone function is derived from your pregnenolone, and that women know it. Women know for a fact that if you have a very lot of stress, your periods will stop, or you'll have really heavy periods, or more periods. You know, women know the effect of trauma on their hormone levels, because our hormones are constantly fluctuating, and we notice, and it has an impact on us. Stress and depression has a lot deeper impact on women because of their constantly fluctuating hormones. This world never takes that into account. Never ever takes that into account. Never. You know, that the woman's menstrual function is something to be shut up and keep quiet about, because it's all embarrassing and disgusting, really, isn't it? You know, without it, there wouldn't be a single human being alive on earth today. That, you know, the one thing that we are here right now is still so denigrated, and still women are given no there's no room or function for how that impacts on us as human beings, how that makes us different human beings to male human beings. Not inferior, but more sensitive, and perhaps more aware, and perhaps hypervigilant to certain things. That when women are getting upset, there's something seriously wrong. But no, we're living in a psychopathic world. Women's emotions were hysterical. But this, you know, this is an important point. This is an important point. That where the pharmaceutical could not patent this in the same way it can't patent MMS, instead it developed something else that's actually a toxin in order to have exactly the same effect, but actually a worse effect as well, because, you know, it is a well-known fact that Prozac has been behind some very horrible, you know, murderous crimes that have been committed by people who've been negatively impacted by Prozac because of the side effects that it has. And so pregnenolone is really cheap. It's really cheap. It costs about, what, £5 for what, 60 capsules or something. It works. You know, I started taking it because I was constantly offered Prozac. I've got complex PTSD. I started taking it. It's helped me. You know, I can't say, oh, it makes me feel on top of the world and like I'm floating on the clouds, but it has definitely took away that edge of deep depression that I was falling into. And I did some research, and basically I was researching what's in Prozac, because I was offered Prozac, and that's when I discovered pregnenolone, and like, well, so I don't need to take the Prozac, I'll just take the pregnenolone. And again, they keep very quiet about it. They've not been able to ban it. okay, because, you know, it's been well studied. It was very, very well studied in the 40s. They've known about it. But this product that does threaten to have an immediate impact on big pharma malaria products, oh my gosh, the incentive there to say that this is bleach and to start imprisoning people, my gosh, yes, they're there, because you're talking billions. And as I say, people of the Western world, you will keep your mouths shut and expect the doors of life to be shut to you, okay? Because we are not just flesh and blood, okay? We are a quantum energy as well. And what you put into this life is for your next life. So, you know, what have you done in this life to stand up for life? Or are you supporting the death culture? Because this is where we've come today, and somehow we need to turn this world the right way around. It's no wonder that millions, billions of people are depressed, have turned to drink and drugs, to witness what is going on, to feel so helpless and powerless, to despise even ourselves, to be living in ways that we find ridiculous and actually criminal. I find it criminal that, you know, I have to have a bag of rubbish to throw out every day. That to me is just criminal, but that's the world I'm living in. And there's no escape, there's no other planet, is there? The ocean's full of plastic and crap. And we have to start somewhere. We need to start somewhere about, where do we start? Well, we start first by standing up for the children's rights, and particularly the poorest children of this earth, who have a right to survive, who have a right to benefit from a malaria cure. We start there. We start by standing up for all our children's rights. Child protection directives, EU child protection directives. Implement them. Because we will, believe you me, we will all be held accountable, and it's our own judgments, that judge us. There's no, God doesn't come, oh, you've been a bad person, oh, you've been a... No, our own judgments judge us. And are we fit as to call ourselves a human being? Or are we a robot? Are we a brick in a wall? What are we? What are we people of the West educated for, if not for the benefit of life of our planet? The life of our planet that has been sacrificed, that gave us these children. How much of our earth has been destroyed for the wealth of humanity to be here today? What, that destruction was just what? So then you can destroy those people and say, look, because they're destroying the earth. It's not them who's destroying the earth, is it? One corporation, TEPCO, has destroyed the Pacific Ocean. Is that humanity? Did humanity choose to have nuclear power? We need to start asking questions and stand up for our human rights, because I tell you, the monsters are taking control. And fear breeds more fear. And that fear, the fear of the fear, is where you really will one day be facing the full terror of it. Because it is an act of terrorism to deny this to the children of Earth. To allow children to die needlessly when we've got a cheap remedy for it. And if anything, that the people in the West all sat there using your mobile phones, your laptops, your computers, drinking your coffee and your tea, and eating your chocolate and your fruit and your veg and everything that has been produced by these people, the poorest people on earth. And you can't stand up for their rights. Instead, you're going to believe this shite. You're going to believe that this man fed his children bleach. That this man, Jim Humble, has been out promoting bleach. You know, I've been reading some stuff, you know, people are saying, oh, it stinks, it's so strong and powerful, it's an industrial chemical, it stinks the room out. Well, I don't know what those people were given, because it certainly wasn't MMS, because as I say, I've been using it and it doesn't stink the house out at all. In fact, there's hardly any smell to it from what I can smell, but it certainly does not stink the whole house out. But, you know, these were the things that I was reading about this. And this is what I find so disturbing. This is why this now needs, people need to start talking about it. We cannot let this pass. And if you do, like I say, don't call yourself a human being. If you can't ask questions, if you can't do the research yourself, if you are going to be a cow in the field, just to be treated like a cow in the field and fed absolute shite, and you're going to believe it, then expect to be slaughtered like a cow in the field. Because believe you me, you know, if you tolerate this, your children will be next.